Hello and welcome to this episode of the Mega Mario Marathon. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the underground plumbing experience of the arcade hit. This is Mario Brothers. It's 1983. The arcades need another Nintendo hit to surpass Donkey Kong Jr. Miyamoto and Yokoi work their magic once again and produce a rather simple multiplayer game. Mario storms the world yet again, but this time as an Italian-American plumber in the sewers of New York. Luigi, Mario's brother, comes along for the ride to help rid the sewers of strange creatures. Luigi allegedly comes from a pizza parlor near the Nintendo of America headquarters named Mario and Luigi's. Also, the word Luigi is very close to the word Ruigi, meaning similar in Japanese. This explains why Luigi is basically a color swap of Mario. Or probably because the software at the time made it too difficult to display two distinct characters moving at the same time. And wait a minute. Mario Brothers is two players. Well, so were Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., but this is two players simultaneously, at the same time. But who's gonna want to play Mario Brothers with me? I summon from the realm of Kahuru! I call upon thee, Dagon! To play some Mario Brothers with me. You're not Dagon! Waste of time. I summon Dagon and I just get some guy.
How would you know? You never met me.
But it says...
I'm just messing with you. I'm a cousin.
Who?
Luke.
I don't think I know anybody.
No. I think I would know, okay? Hey! What are you doing?
Man, look at all these games. They're all so good.
Let's see what you got here. Doom 2 for the PC. You paid a whole $2 for it.
Yeah, I would have paid 3, maybe even 4.
I see you got, 4 copies of Combat there. I only have 12. Let's see. This one. Oh, the Super Game Boy. Who doesn't have one of these?
Hey, be nice.
Look around a little more.
Backgammon.
Backgammon.
Oh, backgammon? Backgammon.
Backgammon.
Backgammon. You know how to play this?
Not at all.
Sucks. And, oh, hey. Shining Force.
Now this is a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites on the Genesis.
We even got the manual for it.
Yep. No box.
Unless somebody joined the manual, though.
Yeah, I got it used.
Did you pay $2 for it, too?
Oh, hey.
What are you doing?
Wanna play Splatoon?
No. I summoned you here to play Mario Brothers.
You didn't summon me, you summoned Dagon.
To be fair, you were the one who showed up.
But, like, you have all these other games.
No. I'm doing a review right now. Don't you see the camera?
I see the camera, but, I mean, you got Cosmic Conflict, Blockout Breakdown, I've never even heard of that one. You've got the classic football game.
Those are all Odyssey 2 games. You really want to play the Odyssey 2?
What's the Odyssey 2?
It's like the sequel to the Odyssey.
The sequel.
What? I don't get it either. You gonna be a girl or a boy? You're a kid, you're a squid.
What?
So you ready to play some Mario Brothers?
Hell yeah, I'll play some Mario Brothers
Okay,
with you.
the first one we're gonna do is the one on the arcade. Now, of course, we don't actually have an arcade, but we're gonna be playing it on the MAME 64 emulator. So let's get right to it.
Let's get to it.
Okay, now I'm gonna play as Mario. And
Oh, no. Who's wearing the Mario hat? No.
Mario Brothers. Simple premise. Defeat all the enemies in a phase and move on to the next phase. Mario Brothers introduces new enemies every few phases and instructs the player on how to defeat them. Mario Brothers can be played single player, but it's arguably more fun in multiplayer. Player 1 assumes the role of Mario, while Player 2 assumes the role of Luigi. Interesting fact, the first cutscene plays the opening notes to Beethoven's Eine kleine Nachtmusik. To defeat an enemy, the player must hit it from below, sometimes several times, and then run into it. Simple as that. This causes a coin to come out of one of the top pipes, which can be collected for points. Killing several enemies quickly can result in even more points. The Shell Creeper is your basic enemy that takes one hit. The Sidestepper takes 2 hits. The first hit makes them angry and move faster, and the second hit flips them over. The Fighter Fly is flipped in one hit, but jumps constantly, meaning it can be difficult to place your hit. Red fireballs appear after a while and bounce around the top of the screen for an allotted amount of time. Green fireballs are the devil. They appear when a player is taking too long on a phase and appear on the same level as the player and bounce across the screen. Now, both green and red fireballs can be killed by hitting them from below, but good luck. Slip Ice is an enemy that doesn't necessarily have to be killed, but failing to do so can result in a more difficult playing field, just like the fireballs. If Slip Ice stops moving on a platform, and it will, it'll turn the platform into ice. Later on, icicles can drop from platforms, killing the player as well. The POW block at the bottom of the screen can be your best friend, as it's used to hit all grounded enemies simultaneously. It should only be used in emergencies, though, as it can only be used 3 times. Flipped enemies will flip over after a short time if the player doesn't dispose of them and begin moving more quickly. The final enemy in the stage also achieves top speed and can be very difficult to defeat. Every so often, a bonus stage appears where the player tries to collect all the coins before time runs out. 20,000 points equals an extra life, so it's important to do well here, as a perfect score achieves quite a few points. The POW block also regenerates on every bonus round. Next, we're going to do Mario Brothers on the Atari 2600. Now, I've never even played this one.
I didn't even know Mario games were on the Atari before.
Well, you learn something new every day. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
The 2600 version. Where do I begin? Well, let's think positively. It was ambitious for the time. I mean, this is 1970s hardware running a 1980s arcade game. it did the multiplayer. It was playable. I mean, barely, but it was playable. It did its best. There's very little sound. The movement kind of just sounds like gunfire. The coins look like flickering boxes, but the Atari can't draw circles half the time, so who's surprised there? And everything else kind of looks like poop. I mean, the POW block is just a rectangle. You're telling me they couldn't just write P, O, and W on there? How difficult would that have been? Well, maybe too difficult because there's so much flicker on the screen, Luigi just disappears sometimes during the gameplay footage. Where'd he go? I don't know. Playable, but barely.
Just barely is right. I couldn't stand it myself the whole time. The noises were awful. The gameplay was I'll give it But then, like, I don't see why they even tried to make the game for such old hardware. But it was an ambitious move, and they did keep the multiplayer, which, if it wasn't for the multiplayer, it probably won't be fun at all. Quite honestly. But now we have better versions of it. I'm pretty good with leaving it where it is.
Poop.
Poop.
Here's another one for the Atari, but this time, Mario Brothers on the 7800. This one's probably a little better, I would assume.
I don't know. It seems like they just couldn't get it right for the home consoles for a while. The 7800 version was still pretty bad, still ambitious though. The noises are still very annoying, the coins look much better than they did, honestly just everything looks much better than it did. Mario, Luigi, the enemies, the pipes, the POW block actually says POW. They kept the multiplayer, which is what makes Mario Brothers fun. If it wasn't for multiplayer, it probably would be a very boring game, honestly. The music of this version, though, makes me cringe. It's the moment I heard the game turn on, I just died a little bit on the inside. But still, better than the 2600. Overall, more successful than the first attempt.
I'll agree with you there. The music is a thing of beauty to the ears of Satan. It's terrible. The 7800 had some what was that music chip in there? I don't know. And yeah, it's still good. It's playable. It looks a lot better. I mean, the 2600 version is poop. But the 7800 is poop that I care about. If you have no other version, and you have the 7800 version, feel good about yourself. It's not terrible. Now this is where I would show you the NES cartridge, but I actually don't have a copy of Mario Brothers for it. So we're going to play it on the Virtual Console, and actually the quality is going to look a lot better than if it was on the NES.
Hey, everybody loves good quality in a video game.
Heck yes. Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
This here is the Virtual Console version of the NES version. And when you take a look at it, you can say, wow, that's fairly close to the arcade. And yeah, it is. It plays like the arcade. It looks like the arcade. Honestly, it sounds a little better than the arcade, at least the movement. The enemies, the graphics, everything looks so good. It plays beautifully, basically arcade perfect, except, it's missing some of the cutscenes and a few other things that don't quite make it arcade perfect, but, I mean, it's still very playable. It's on the Virtual Console. You can get a cartridge of it, probably for very cheap. There's no excuse. You need to own this game.
I agree with you. This one was much better, and I honestly did like how it sounded more than the arcade myself. And they kept everything just about how it was in the arcade. Just a few things were missing, but nothing that really bothered you. It was still 2-player, it was still fun, you knew what everything was. Good game. I enjoyed it.
And lastly, I'm going to talk about a couple more versions of Mario Brothers. The one on Super Mario Brothers 3 and the one on the Game Boy Advance remakes. So let's hit those. This is the version on the Game Boy Advance. Well, specifically, it's the version on Super Mario Advance. I think there's a version on Superstar Saga that's similar, but might not be exactly the same. Just like all the Super Mario Advance games, and their versions of Mario Brothers on it, Mario makes noises when he hits enemies, and you think it would get annoying, and it really doesn't. Because it doesn't happen so frequently. It's not like every time he jumps, it's every time he kills somebody. So, in a way, the noises don't really bother me. The music is great. It's a remix of the themes from Mario Brothers and other games in the franchise. Very smooth control. I mean, it's not like the arcade. It's a completely different control style. But very smooth, very good. Shell Creepers replaced with Spinies, and, you know, that's good. It kind of fits with the Mario theme, you know. Shell Creepers, I guess, evolved into Koopas at some point, so I guess you need to kind of differentiate. It's a good waste of time when you're on the road, and I highly recommend it. Super Mario Bros. 3, which I'm playing on the Virtual Console, has a little version of Mario Brothers in it when you're playing 2 players. Players fight over whose turn it is, basically. So if I'm playing Luigi and I go and fight Mario and he wins, it's now Mario's turn. But if I win, I can earn some goodies, like stealing cards to help get a match set. And that earns more lives. And in this version, Shell Creepers are also Spinies, just like the GBA version.
I'd have to agree with you, there's not much to it. You can get goodies out of it, but you have to do it right. They made the Shell Creepers into the Spinies, so you can't jump on the Spinies. And, well, I don't know, I don't really see a big point to the whole, hey, let's fight about whose turn it is, even though if I die this time, it's your turn.
It's a little distraction.
Yeah. All-Stars has a version of Mario Bros. And its version of Super Mario Bros. 3 that is very similar to the NES version. However, it also has a battle mode. This is all the classic enemies from the classic Mario Bros. Plus Koopas. This game is very fun. We were quite amused while playing this. The POW block is a very evil yet effective tool. The point is to be the first of 5 wins. To win, you must kill the other player by knocking them into enemies or collect 5 coins. You also have the opportunity to get the Super Mushroom, which, as we all know, makes you go from small to big. The background slightly changes every now and again. So, I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, honestly, this is probably my favorite version of Mario Brothers. I mean, not the classic Mario Brothers, that would probably be the NES, but like as like a bonus feature to a game, because you're going in expecting Super Mario Brothers 3 and you get this battle mode. This would be my favorite version of just like a special option inside of a game. And yeah, it's really fun. It adds like a couple twists, like the Super Mushroom and the POW block, you know, affects the players as well as the enemies. The boos are the fireballs, you know, the Spinies instead of Shell Creepers. It all flows really well, and it's a really good multiplayer experience, but a completely different one. Whereas in Mario Brothers, typically you weren't fighting each other. I mean, you could, but in this game, that's all you do. It's just a battle to the death. And yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one. Probably my favorite.
I'd have to agree.
Super Mario 3D World!
This is Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U. And why am I playing this? Well, Turns out there's a secret version of Mario Brothers in it. Well, sort of. After you beat the game, you unlock Luigi Brothers. Well, at least that's what I knew about. So, when Luke was over, I played through the rest of the game. I was already in World 6, but I decided, hey, you know what? I'll just play through the rest. I'll rush through it, don't go for all the goodies and stuff, just get to the end of the game. Then I found out all you really need
Is save data.
a save data of Super Luigi U on your console. I have that game. I just haven't played it yet. No save data. So yeah, I could have done it in a minute, and instead it took me like an hour. So that's my story. But the game, it's basically Mario Brothers on the NES. In fact, when you go to the game, it's literally a virtual console game. You can go to the virtual console menu, you can do a save state, you can do whatever you need to on the virtual console. The only little thing is, you're both Luigi. So, if anything, it makes it harder because you both kind of look closer to each other than before. It's a nice little bonus for beating the game, but you don't even need to beat the game to get it, so...
Yeah, good job on that one.
Oops.
When we could have done it in 2 seconds.
Just like that. Just put the game in, and we would have had the save data. Yep.
And then, just as he said though, kind of made it harder. Because I'm pretty sure there was quite a few times I was looking at the Luigi with the white shirt instead of the green shirt, and I was supposed to be the one with the white shirt. It was a neat Easter egg though.
Well, those are all the versions of Mario Brothers that I happen to own. And of course, there's plenty more. Next time, we're going to take a look at the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and a video game that made it into the Video Game Hall of Fame. That's right, Super Mario Brothers. But not the movie. Not the movie. No, absolutely not. No. Where are all my amiibos at?
It's mine. All mine. My precious. I said it's mine. Get out. It's my precious.
Nope.